Not at
But
all.
in a polite way, not in a head could be turned way. I don't think you quite would get how much I like you.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think you get it. I think you just think I'm a boy, like telling you what you want to hear. Like that's not what I'm about.
You couldn't even look her in the eye, the body language. Look at the body language. He's not even looking in the eye. He's not even facing her properly. And we can see in that particular conversation between these two that Yewande has something going on, this gut instinct where something isn't right, something isn't fitting right.
One particular person who ticks every box. Every box.
I hate to say I told you so. I hate to say I told you so. Both Danny and both Arabella are constantly deflecting entire situations and they're making it as if Amber's and Anna's reaction to an action, their reaction is the issue. Their reaction is not the issue because they are reacting to an action that has occurred. It's basic common knowledge. But this pure kind of psycho deflection that is going on is very deeply ingrained, and we're not going to allow this narrative to occur. We're simply not. Hey guys, it's Murad Murali. Hopefully you guys are doing well today. And here we have Miss Amber and Anna, but especially Amber, who absolutely bottles Danny and just makes him be aware of how much of a knob he is, how much of a waste man that he is, and that his word means nothing. And that's exactly that. Before we dive deep into this video, please do subscribe to my channel, click that button for daily consistent content, and follow me on my Instagram, Murad_Murali as well. I would massively appreciate it. And let me know what your thoughts are on this episode, because this was I have a lot to say. So we're going to get into it bit by bit. Now, Arabella is somebody who is dangerous. And the reason why I say this is because she's not intimidated by anybody.
What's the problem?
If I've got a problem, I'll bring it to you rolling.
Your word doesn't really mean that much at this point, though, does it?
Nobody said it was a lie.
Is that what you want, or?
You would expect her to, because she is in a very closed environment, a very closed proximity, but she actually isn't. And that in itself is interesting because it definitely builds more narratives. However, what we have is Amber, she is not backing down at all. She's not afraid of confrontation. She's not afraid to address situations, and she's just not afraid at all, period. And she can see them kissing, they all can. It's very disrespectful, but at the same time, Arabella is doing this on purpose because it's very territorial, because she's passively saying, she was very passive aggressive throughout this entire episode. Nobody said it because apparently Amber's bitter, but very passive aggressive, especially in this entire episode, because what we're seeing here is that she's being very territorial herself, exclaiming how, you know, Yewande was very territorial, kissing to make it known to everybody in that villa that I am here.
I just want to say I gave you an opportunity to squash anything there. Yeah. So just don't say anything further about the situation unless it's directly to those people that were over there.
I am making a stand. You will feel my presence. I am here today. It is what it is. This is what she's doing. And then we obviously have Amber, who's seeing it all, is upset, and she's like, listen, call Danny over here now. And she's very like, she's really like, nothing rattles this girl. Like, we have not ever seen her sweat. And I feel like this girl must have really gone through a lot in life for her to, you know, be like this. And if you actually be aware and watch a show, you will realize that nobody is more observant than Amber. She's a very observant girl. She knows exactly what's going on in her surroundings. You can see it from her eyes and the way she acts, her body language. She's very, very observant. She calls him over and she's letting him know, saying, does it look like I'm somebody to cause a problem? You know, it's disrespectful, it's annoying what you've done. And, you know, for Anna to say bye, 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 I find it quite hilarious and funny, because they have a right. And here we have this pure deflection. This is why it irritates me. Even Arabella said that they're not a threat. She does not consider them a threat. They're both saying, oh, you know, rise above it, rise above it, rise above it. You have caused this issue, this problem. And when people react to your actions, when people react to the problem that you have caused, beloved, and then this is what happens, you deflect. Pure deflection, disassociation from the blame. And the reason why people do that is that they don't need to project their own kind of insecurities or issues. They can really continue on with whatever they're doing. It's pure avoidance. When you avoid a situation, when you disassociate any blame from it, it's easier for you to move from it because you have less weight. You're carrying less guilt, less anything. And this is what's constantly going on. Both Danny and both Arabella are constantly deflecting entire situations, and they're making it as if Amber's and Anna's reaction reaction to an action. Their reaction is the issue. Their reaction is not the issue because they are reacting to an action that has occurred. It's basic common knowledge. But this pure kind of psycho deflection that is going on is very deeply ingrained, and we're not going to allow this narrative to occur. We're simply not at all. I'm very happy that Amber let Jordan know as well, listen, what you were doing, you know, has gone down. I'm kind of glad that she kind of made that kind of stand, because I would have been a bit displeased if she didn't, but I'm kind of glad that she has. And Lucy, day by day, is really pissing me off because I feel like without Joe, she's become absolutely worthless. And I don't mean without a man she needs to be worth, but like what I mean is by that, she and Joe had something going on, perhaps because their narrative was so strong. Yewande deserved to stay so that she could continue to try and find that individual.
Word, when your word means fuck all. Okay. How old are we?
How pathetic is that?
It's not fair for Lucy to be in there, most definitely. All this, I don't like being with girls, I don't like being with girls, I'm not a girl's girl, but you're happily sitting there with Arabella and you're happily sitting there with Mora doing all this kiki nonsense. We see you, Lucy. We see you. And I want to make that very clear today on the 25th of June, Tuesday night. We see you, and we know what you're doing, and we know what game you're playing. You and your dry ass hair, we know what you're both doing, but it's okay. I'm very glad that Anton went over to apologize. I feel like sometimes he gets a bit lost, but you can see why he does, and I feel like he does act a bit level-headed, and I'm very glad, or he attempts to act level-headed. I'm glad they apologized to Amber and Anna, because, well, lest we forget, they had a very good friendship throughout the entire 2 weeks. So, the first 2 weeks, so that can't just go down the drain. So I'm very glad that he kind of made that clear, that was an obvious issue. But, you know, Arabella making it very clear that she's not threatened by them. She's not threatened by anybody. And that in itself is a good thing, because it creates narratives for us to be engaged as an audience, but negative as well. And, you know, then she's like, oh, let's just get over it. You know, let's just all, this is what kind of irritates me. I'm very glad that Amber stood up. Don't get it twisted. I'm very glad. But I'm not happy by how quick the dust has settled. How quick they just turned over and they were playing these nonsense games. Like, you know, something doesn't sit right. Hopefully, I feel like it shouldn't sit right for a while, and I feel like it's just simply unfair. Now we've got a game coming in. The game next week, tomorrow, the tweet games. These games that are now going to come in that we've seen are games that are going to be led with public intuition, public feedback. Once they get a whiff of public feedback, something is going to occur.
I just want to say I gave you an opportunity to squash anything there. Yeah. So just don't say anything further about the situation unless it's directly to those people that were over there.
So I just can't wait for when a man comes in, Arabella's head is turned and Danny's left. I want to see one of them go home, because the satisfaction in all of us, not because Yewande went home, it was because how she went home. You think I'm cooking the way I'm doing this? How she went home, which is exactly what Anna reiterates and what Amber does. The way it was handled was wrong. We have Danny lying, manipulation. We have we have Arabella coming up. I'm sorry. If I like somebody, and I know that they're in a couple, I go speak to that person they're in a couple with, and I go and tell them intentionally withheld information that they don't know, knowing that I'm going to do it consciously. It's very manipulative. She knew what she was doing from the day one, and nobody has called her out on it to the point apart from Amber and Anna, because nobody can really see it. But now we can all move on. Now we're all going to be happy. Now we're all going to be listening. I'm still going to speak about Sharif and what happened to my man Sharif, and how he unwarrantedly went home, unwarrantedly had to go home. Same thing's kind of going on with Yewande here. You know, we can all now just move on and be happy families, you know, play pass parcel, because my God, Yewande got discarded so disgustingly, worse than Anton, worse than anybody in that villa, and it's so unfair, so unjust. The vim in me, like, we really need to keep talking about it, because I feel like it's such a sad scenario. I wish she came back as a wild card or Casa Amor, but it's not going to occur, so we have to try and put it to bed. But you still feel rattled in here. I can tell the way Amber was looking, like, stop looking at me, and then she walked over. Nothing scares this girl, and I love that. The reason why, the similarity between Amber and Arabella are that these two individuals are not intimidated very easily. They're not intimidated. So I'm expecting something to go on between these two, and you know, Amber's very direct. She will let you know, and I'm so glad that she's in there. And I'm so glad. I'm a bit disappointed in Michael, because I feel like he could still, but he let him know prior. The kissing stuff was very disrespectful, it's very territorial, but we see through Lucy. I want to keep saying that, because we see through what she's doing, because I feel like she's a very sly girl, and she's very lost and confused as well. Tom's having issues with Mora, but really and truly, Tom, do we really care about you? We don't. So I feel like Mora is obviously a good character because she brings narratives, and she is somebody, you know, they're all in bed kissing. The fact that I'm seeing Danny, and it's not going to work between these two anyways. If they both knew how much they're hated outside this villa, it is ridiculous. This is why these public intuition games are going to be great, because the public feedback will sway people very quickly. You can just watch that occur, it will sway people. What are your thoughts on this episode? What are your thoughts? I'm glad Amber and Anna stood up for what they did, but I feel like the dust settled on that very quickly, and it shouldn't have. But something tells me it probably hasn't settled and might erupt one or twice or thrice, who even knows. But I feel like they need to bring this game in, because now that this Yewande storyline is settling, as people are saying, what's next? Are we going to go back to a boring villa again? Like, the thing is, we don't want to see a happy villa. We don't want to see that. This is not why this show is on air. So they have to keep throwing stuff out. The fact that the last episode was watched by more than 1 million people than last year's that episode shows you that Yewande is a valuable asset to the show. So why would you throw her out so early? Really, I don't know. I feel like it's such a dim-witted move, considering how scheduled and fake the show apparently is. It doesn't make any sense. But, well, it kind of makes sense because we obviously know the real reasons. But at the same time, babes, Yewande babes, I can't get over it. Like, I really can't get over it. It's not that the fact that she went home. People are like, oh, you know, you're stretching out this Yewande stuff. People are commenting saying you're stretching out this Yewande stuff. It's not about the fact that she went home. It's how she went home. How she was manipulated by A and B. Both of them tag teamed her and literally locked her in, even though she stood her ground very well and effortlessly. She couldn't do anything else, and it's irritating because she's a day one character. We get to know them. I would have been just as pissed if it was Anna, if it was Amber, if it was not Lucy, and definitely not Amy, but still, like, you still would be, you know, rattled and irritated because it's just unjust. Justice has not been served. If she just went home naturally, or, you know, somebody came in and they were kind to you one day and Danny just chose, you get upset a little bit and you move on for it. But because of the unjust, like, it's very, the scent of it is very strong, you're gonna have to keep reiterating. But let me know what your thoughts are on this episode. What are your thoughts on this entire situation? What are your thoughts on Amber and Anna? What are your thoughts on Tom and Mora? Perhaps they're cracking. And what are your thoughts on Danny and Arabella? Thank you guys for watching my particular review. I'd massively appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching my review. Please do subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. I massively appreciate it. Like, I think in less than 24 hours I've had 1,000 new subscribers, and I'm so thankful, literally. So welcome to this channel, and welcome to daily consistent content, because you will be getting content from me every day, no matter where I am in this world. So thank you guys for watching. I massively appreciate it. Subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram, Murad_Morali. My handle is in the description box below. Comment down below, share, comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys soon for another video.